Gen Z is now the most burnt out generation, with mental health levels similar to those recorded during COVID-19 lockdowns in late 2020. The latest TELUS mental health barometer finding 13 to 28-year-olds are experiencing close to clinical levels of distress at work. Financial distress ranked as the #1 issue affecting Gen Z.
I'm not gonna lie, Gen Z and millennials hit peak burnout at 25 years old. The average American worker hits it at 42. We are burning out 17 years earlier than the people who raised us. But we're supposed to be in our prime, by the way, with our early careers, and we're supposed to be chasing dreams and building whatever. And instead, 83% of Gen Z frontline workers report burnout symptoms. That's basically all of us at this point. And the number for the rest of the workforce, 75%. Still bad, but we're clearing them by 8 points. So anyways, let me break down why we're burning out at 25 instead of 42, because there's actual data on this. Number 1, money. Half of Gen Z is living paycheck to paycheck. The cost of housing has gone up around 50% in most cities over the last 10 years, and the wages barely moved. So you're grinding harder than your parents did at your age, and you can't even afford what they could on one income. That's crazy. Number 2, the side hustle expectation. You know how our parents had one job, maybe 2 if things were getting tough? I know people with a full-time job, 50 marketplace listings, a TikTok they're trying to monetize, and a freelance gig on the side. And that's not considered unusual, by the way. It's just what it takes now. And here's the crazy part. Multiple surveys have found burnout rates for Gen Z workers running as high as 80%. And the researchers keep landing on the same explanation that it's not the workload alone. It's the combination of working hard and still feeling like you're behind. And that's the difference between our parents' burnout and ours. Our parents burn out because they worked hard. We burn out because we work hard and it's not enough. And this is where it gets dark, because we were sold a lie. And I can't lie, I bought it too. The lie was this: if you work hard enough, if you just grind, if you optimize your morning routine and drink enough water and wake up at 5 a.m., you'll make it. You'll be the exception. You'll be the one who escapes. And for a while, everyone bought it. Every YouTube ad was selling someone a course on how to get rich. And if you weren't grinding, if you weren't building, if you took a weekend off to just exist, you felt guilty because the algorithm was feeding you constant proof that someone else was working while you rested. You did not need to add the virgin part, by the way. Anyways, here's the thing they don't tell you though. Most of the people selling the hustle were already rich. They're trying to sell you the method, but you are the method. And the reason this hit us specifically is because of the timing. We came of age during the golden era of hustle content. 2015 to 2020, every platform was saturated with it, and so we thought burnout was the price of success. If we were burnt out, we would get successful. What actually happened though? We got tired, and now there's a whole generation that hit the wall at 25, and they realized the finish line was never there. They were never aiming for anything rather than burnout. And social media is making burnout worse. It's not even because we're on our phones too much, it's just because they turn our resting into content. The only reason you scroll on TikTok is to relax. So when you open TikTok and you see people your age buying a house, you're no longer resting, are you? It's a reminder that you are not doing enough. But here's the thing that's actually happening right now that gives me hope. People are rebelling against hustle culture. In 2025 and 2026, there's been this wave of Gen Z creators and workers just opting out. Not like they're giving up. They're saying, I refuse to destroy myself in a system that doesn't care about me. There's this concept now called quiet ambition, where you do your job well but don't make it your identity. It's pretty much working hard enough not to get fired, but not working enough to become important. Because if you become important, you're gonna start doing more than you're paid for. We watched our parents give everything to their jobs and get laid off in 2008. We watched millennials grind for decades and still not be able to afford houses. We're not disengaged because we're lazy, we're disengaged because we don't feel like it's worth it. We did the math and it's not mathing.
I don't know if it's just me, but do anybody else feel like life is just a repetitive cycle? I literally feel like I do the same thing every single day. I get up, I make breakfast, take the kids to school, go to work, come home, sleep. And I do it every single day. Like, it's just a non-stop process. Like, I'm at the point where I'm so tired of chasing paper. I'm so tired of trying to figure out where I can make extra income, where I can make extra money. Like, I really feel like there's times where I just have not been able to enjoy life itself. I feel like every time I turn around, it's a bill that's due. And then for some odd reason, I never have enough funds to pay that bill. And then I gotta go chase money to pay that. I'm tired of paying fucking bills. And let's be real, hustling is one of the most tiring things. Like, it's not fun. There's nothing fun about the grind. Can we stop pretending like grinding is just so fun? It is the most annoying, miserable thing ever. Like, I am so tired of grinding too. That shit is tiring as hell too.
And I can't lie, the anti-hustle movement isn't perfect either, but some people take it too far and use it as an excuse to do nothing, just be lazy, unemployed. But the core idea that your worth isn't tied to your output is the most rational response to the world we inherited.
I think the reason that Gen Z is so obsessed with anti-hustle culture and self-care is not because we're lazy, but because we literally can't escape burnout. And it's like in another universe, we're all thriving with fulfilling careers and affording a mortgage comfortably. Maybe we can buy a coffee on the way to work without having to do mental math, am I right? But instead, we're stuck in this weird limbo where most of us are not making enough money to live alone. Like, hello? Forbes did an article where they said that up to 40% of Gen Z has a side hustle just to stay financially afloat, because their paychecks are literally not giving. And then we're told that we have no work ethic when really we just have the audacity to ask our employer to pay us a wage that we're worth. And like, sorry, but I'm also not interested in the work 60 hours a week and never take a vacation pipeline. And maybe sometimes we treat ourselves to a little sweet treat like a coffee, and then suddenly it's our fault that we can't afford a house. And like, be so serious.
Anyways, that would be all for today. If you know ways to deal with burnout, drop it in the comments. And also, if you're genuinely burnt out, if you feel tired and stressed, drop a comment because I want to see how many people are going through this right now. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can get more of this.